Welcome. Today we're going to explore the third of the universal laws in this Enter the Mandala project. And it is the law of action, which basically states that we must move in the direction of our dreams in order to achieve them. We must engage in some action that supports what we think about and or dream about. And so today, like with the other readings that I've done before, I'm going to start with a spirit calling card reading and go into one of my visual journeys, which is basically I close my eyes and I receive these mini movies that take me on a journey filled with symbolism from which I pull to create the paintings that I'm working on in this series. So dear God and guiding spirits, angels of light and love, guide me on my path to my highest good. Help me to understand the law of action. Help me to bring messages, energy, vibration, oneness into this law, as well as its link to all the others. So right now I'm just shuffling and concentrating on the law of action, asking for guidance from my spirit calling cards. And these basically give me 5 words from which I pull a sentence to start the reading. Change, reflect, fruit, purpose, truth. Reflect on the truth of your purpose, and the truth will change. Reflect on the fruit of your purpose to truthfully change your life. Something in that. Something about reflecting on the truth of your purpose. And I want to say to change the truth. That feels right. So by first reflecting on the fruit of your purpose, in other words, that's many of the first steps that we talk about when it comes to the law of attraction, manifesting in your life, is knowing what it is that you want, visualizing it, and that's a lot of what we hear about in the popular movies like The Secret and that. Being in that energy, really reflecting on the fruit, on the results that you want, but then change the truth. I think this is what's bringing me into the action here. Change the truth of what you see, not truth with a capital T, but change your own truth. Change your reality, change what you perceive to be your reality. First reflecting, and then changing. And I think that's the action card there, is change the truth. You can't just sit there and imagine things changing and then they change automatically. There's also action steps to be taken. And the truth, I think this is where we often think things are true, our beliefs, our patterns that we have in our lives. But to change the truth, to change what we believe, to change the patterns, to change the realities or what we perceive to be the realities in our lives, it requires action. I am seeing here a merry-go-round. So I'm going into my visual journey now. For the next few minutes I'm going to describe the scenes that I see in my, you want to call it imagination, intuition, in my inner world. So I'm seeing a merry-go-round, and out of this merry-go-round there is, in the seats, there are not people, but what appears to be confetti, cookies, sparkles, things that are flying out of the merry-go-round in the middle, or from the various seats. These become objects, fruits, birds, once again, it reminds me of the visualization I had in the Divine Oneness, where these bubbles would appear and they would just transform into objects, realities, truths. So I'm seeing this merry-go-round and all the bubbles and all the objects and manifestations coming out of that spin, coming out of the action, coming out of the speed, coming out of the momentum. Momentum is a word that I've been hearing a lot listening to Esther Hicks, who channels Abraham. How we create with our vibration, with our action, we create momentum. And if we can stay on a momentum disc of emotion, how we can stay in a certain vibration, how we can start our day off in the high-feeling emotions, it creates a momentum that brings more high-feeling emotions, which creates more and more and more. And this is what brings manifestation into our lives. This is what brings our being able to connect to Source, our being able to stay connected to Source. And here, this merry-go-round is reminding me of momentum. It's turning into a funnel, a long sort of tube that's going up to the sky. And I'm seeing on the outside of this tube, which is looking more like a tower, a cylindrical tower, I'm seeing a spiral staircase. And there's a human being that's walking up the spiral staircase. And as they're walking, various doors are appearing. And this being, I'm going to call her a she's opening the door. And in this door, she seems to be not necessarily entering, but almost like placing an order, like if it was, okay, there's now someone behind the counter, just like the little stores I love so much in Europe. You go into a little store and you mention to the person there that, you want this and this and this behind the counter. They hand it to you. Then you go into the next little store where you get your vegetables, or then you get your bread in the next one. When I lived in the Czech Republic, that's how it was, and it was. This is what I'm seeing. So this person is going up the spiral staircase and opening the doors and taking action by stepping up, by going from door to door and opening those doors, collecting the resources that she needs. This person is now wearing a backpack and putting everything into her backpack, climbing up the spiral staircase, which has sort of extensions looking like mountains. It's a funnel inside a mountain that's got a hole at the top. We're looking at a volcano here now. So she's climbing her way up to the volcano. There at the bottom of the volcano is a bit of steam. It's not a very active volcano. It's a little hot lava and that, but it's just things that are percolating. There's a very gentle percolation going on. And as she's moving up towards that light in the sky, towards the outside, it's quite dark inside of this volcano. Not seeing the full picture yet. Okay, that's the sense I'm receiving. She's not seeing the full picture of what she's creating yet, but she's collecting the tools in the cylindrical glass tower, opening the doors and receiving the tools. And now she's almost all the way up to the top of the platform, which is, I would say 1 story up above the entrance of the volcano, above the mouth of the volcano. So now she's standing on the top of her tower, and she's pressing this magic button that's there that says press me, and the platform extends so that although there's room, there's still a bit of a space at the mouth, but it basically covers so that she has a nice big working platform. It's reminding me of when I sit on the floor to start my paintings, having the space to work. And yes, she's sitting cross-legged and taking out of her backpack all the tools that she has collected on this journey up the staircase. As she has taken the actions necessary to build her dream, she's now looking into the distance. She's sitting in a meditative position, hands, palms up on her lap in the receiving motion. And the truth of what she's seeing out now that she's basking in the sun, and you can tell she's got that sense of gratitude, that sense of appreciation, basking in the sun, raising her face to the sky, closing her eyes. And as she closes her eyes, her whole body becomes more of a mist of rainbow type colors, pastel-y ones though, not bright ones. She's sort of herself becoming part of this funnel of energy, not in a funnel shape, more just sort of a vessel in which this wispy, steamy, pastel-y rainbow colors are swirling. As she's sitting there in the meditation position with all her tools around her, we're almost going into sort of a fairy tale where the tools around her are like toys in some of those children's stories that come to life. The toys around her, or the tools around her, come to life and start working together. She has now come out of her meditation and is working with these tools that are also alive. She's recognizing this as, something that's completely normal. I'm not sure if she was expecting it, but there's, it might be part of the new normal. She just accepts that this is how it works, and all these tools that she's collected are working together with her. And as she looks into the distance, what she's seeing is constantly changing. And as she's working, the vision of what she's seeing is changing. There's now, like on the horizon, beautiful landscape. It's changing in terms of times of day, at a quicker pace than what we're used to seeing, or maybe I'm just seeing time sped up here. But she's also seeing forms, like all of a sudden there's a city that builds up, and then on one side, and all of a sudden on the other side there's projects. We're looking at events. We're looking at there's a book launch ceremony I'm seeing. There's various things around her. I'm told that the specifics aren't important here. It's just manifesting through her actions what is happening in her reality, in her world. Now, the fact that she's on this platform at the top of a volcano, I had mentioned that there's a bit of a gap still. The platform didn't completely block the mountain. And there's steam now from the volcano erupting. Erupting is too strong a word. It's emanating from the top. And this wisp is like a curtain, and it creates a smoke signal. It sends us. It's creating smoke signals, rings into the air, and these smoke signals are going out, and they're being read by. Okay, we've got. Okay, they could be like the Greek gods we see in one of those chocolate commercials there at the top of the clouds. Basically, we're seeing spiritual guides and gods and goddesses up in a different realm, in a higher realm, and they're receiving these smoke signals and taking the orders and looking down and peering down and seeing that she is indeed working towards her dreams. And it's almost as if they're connecting the smoke signals and the energy emanating from her to send down, to make their own orders. They're like the middleman at a warehouse, basically. They're now delivering. And I just saw a delivery truck, but I think that's my going from up and down, but there's no going up and down. It just kind of appears back. And from the back of this 18-wheeler truck, there's it's opening, and there's a whole team of workers bringing stuff out. And this is happening all around. All of a sudden, I am seeing volcanoes, Like there's about 100 in the distance now, and different beings at the top, and different smoke signals, and different trucks, and different realities. It's becoming very crowded, this vision, but it's not a panicky type of crowd. It's more just there's a lot of action going on here. There's a lot of movement, there's a lot of momentum, and it's people creating the realities that they want. I'm being asked to open my eyes again and to reflect on the truth of the fruit of your purpose, the fruit of the purpose. What is it that you were brought onto this earth to create? What are the fruit that you want to bring into this world by your beingness, and what actions can you take to change the truth? Change the truth, okay, not only the truth of your reality, but change the truth of the landscape. I'm going back into my vision now, and just seeing, what was one, and now there's 100 volcanoes, and now the entire planet. I'm seeing the entire globe surrounded, and the smoke signals. The smoke signals are becoming almost like brainstorm bubbles. You know how you've got one circle in the middle when you do a brainstorm activity, a visual brainstorm activity on the board. You start with one circle and the word in the middle, and then you create bubbles around it. And from these bubbles, 5 or 6 other bubbles, you just extend the web, brainstorm web. There's a name for it. And of course, I forget about it right now as I'm trying to describe it, but you hopefully see what I mean. And it's just becoming more abstract, and it's becoming the painting. Oh, interesting. So now we've got this spider web of action on my square mandala painting, and that's where I'm being asked to just be and to end the vision there. Wow, well, that was quite the journey. I hope you've enjoyed it, and let's see how that becomes a painting.